Hello, this is Randy Lindsay with Hawkeye Traders. Quick update this morning. There's a lot of excitement as America starts to regain and get back in control again. People are getting back to work, and it's starting to show in the markets. Last week, you can see the box I drew on the charts showing the target of where I thought the breakout of the S&P was going to go. If you look at the chart, you can see the initial breakout right here. I was looking at this and I targeted that as my breakout range. Price traded with good volume support up into this and now is starting to make some ground as it breaks through 3,000 to the target of about 30.3950. This morning we've only gotten up to about a 30.35, so watch for a potential rebound or a possible reversal as price starts to head up into this region. I'm watching volume to see if we're starting to see any signs of weakness coming up into this, but a lot of excitement going on out there. If you look at the Dow itself broke out of its range. You can see that it was in a nice consolidation range for a long time, and it finally broke out yesterday on the big rally in the news, and you can see it's continuing to go back up. Our upside target was set to 25,842, and we're continuing to hold that, but for now looks like there's a lot of euphoria in the markets going forward from this. The Russell finally broke out as well and is just starting to tag its upper resistance line, so it's going to trade up to this range and potentially start to consolidate or maybe even pull back. Just when it gets to these specific ranges, you can see there's always going to be cycles of correction, but that's the target mark for that. The one telltale was the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq's been on a rip and has been going, but look, Nasdaq came up and gave us a really interesting signal. It closed on a very weak bar when all the other markets closed strong, and then that has come back down with a big red volume reversal signal just short of the previous highs. And if you look at the line, the target that we were looking for, 94.74 3/4, price came up into and back down, back out of that. If you turn the zones on to show the supply demand zone regions, you will see why I have these regions mapped out. They exactly perfectly outline our Hawkeye zones region, showing price coming out of a money bounce setup. So when price comes up into these zones the very first time, it's the highest probability reversal. And we're getting a volume reversal on top of that. So watch out. The Nasdaq could be coming back down into the 9110 range, maybe even back down to 9,000 in the next week or so. It might not, but probabilities are that it would. And if that occurs, it's probably going to affect the other markets as well. The S&P coming up into its overhead resistance. Like I'd pointed out before, that box I drew, 30.39 target price, was almost hit last night. Price could easily trace back down into its consolidation range just above 2,900. The Dow coming up into its target zone hasn't hit yet. It might still have some legs left to it, but if it doesn't and it fails, 23.563 would be the downside target on it. And the Russell, poor Russell, finally getting its legs on, might come back to 1300 area, 1350 for a retest before it continues, if it does. And then on the flip side, let's look at gold. Gold is continuing to trade off of last week's sell signal. We identified that and pointed 17,888 as the reversal range. Price traded up into that, gave us a nice reversal signal, and then back down again. Really good profits coming out of gold on the downside, but we haven't created a new low yet. So 1688 is the low side, 100 points from the high. So that's what we're looking for. If it breaks that, then we might see a gold meltdown to 1641. But if it does not, then we might be revisiting the new highs. And last but not least, crude oil. You've seen some remarkable news out of crude oil and the rally that's been going here. It's starting to stabilize here. So ever since the end of middle of April, you've seen a big rally coming forward and seeing the price of the crude rise up. 35.11 is the high side, and it's failing to break that. So 35.11 is our high target. 36.38 would be the range if 35.11 is broken, and then we would probably expect to see a big resistance in this supply zone. But as price is trading in here, if I start to see any selling volume coming in, then I'm looking at a potential correction back down to the $26-25 area. Otherwise, we're looking at price, if we break 35.11, we're looking at price to go back up into close to $40 a barrel. To learn more about Hawkeye or to follow these things yourselves, get your very own copy of Hawkeye software or come to our training class and click the links below to purchase your very own copy of Hawkeye so that you can see these reversals. You can see these tools in action on your very own. Thank you very much.